Well, it's time now for business, and let's begin with taking a look at how things are looking on the Asian markets this Monday. Asian shares pairing early losses on Monday as Chinese authorities lifted some coronavirus-related restrictions on work and travel. Although overall sentiment is still jittery, the Shanghai Composite trading at just above the flat line, as you can see there. The Hong Kong Hang Seng trading down just over 0.6%. The Kospi doing similarly. The Nikkei down 0.5%, as you can see there. A little earlier on, we spoke to market analyst Stephen Innes from Axie Trader. We asked him about investor appetite in China as factories and offices in the country remain closed in an attempt to halt the spread of the virus.
I think they have. We're looking at quite a deterioration in the first quarter GDP in China. This will be significant. I mean, I'm not looking at this in the global term. I'm looking at this more related to countries that do a lot of business with China, particularly in the Asian community. So this could be a more Asia-centric phenomenon rather than a global phenomenon. We have to put that into perspective because the fear hasn't been that broad in markets in Europe and markets in the U.S. However, if the knock-on effect from the weakening of the Chinese economic situation does pass through, then we'll probably have some reason to concern. At the moment, I don't think that concern is as elevated as what it is here in Asia right now.
Now, the spread of the coronavirus is, of course, first and foremost a public health crisis, but it's also an economic one. Emergency restrictions, meaning the movement of people and goods into China, is now heavily controlled. And in Myanmar, watermelon farmers who usually sell their fruit to China have seen their profits slashed. James Wilson takes a look.
Myanmar's economy relies heavily on China, and border trade alone generates more than $1 billion in a single month. Chinese consumers are particularly fond of Myanmar's watermelons, and usually hundreds of trucks are sent north every day. But since the outbreak of the coronavirus, strict restrictions on the movement of goods has caused trade to plummet.
Our produce is going to China via our trader at the border. The traders told us not to bring the watermelons to the border as there are no buyers there. So we don't dare to bring our fruits.
The border remains open, but only 20 or 25 trucks a day have been allowed to pass through recently. The result is watermelons are selling at only a third of their normal value, and thousands are being left to rot in the fields.
When we started this business, we had 300 employees for 200 acres of farmland. Now there is only 10% left to harvest this season, and also because of the virus, I sent all of them back. Now we have only 30 employees, including the head workers, 40 employees.
Farmers have instead tried to sell their goods in Myanmar, but domestic demand is lower and cannot compensate for the loss of the lucrative Chinese market.